So, what did Christ mean when he said that he came to fulfill? In my last video, I had a few commenters who kind of confused the meaning of what fulfilled mean when I referenced Matthew 5:17 through 19. I'm going to read it real quick. It says, "Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am come not to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass away, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, until all be fulfilled." So in my last video, when I said, hey, everything hasn't been fulfilled yet. Yes, Jesus did come and he was cursed on our behalf. He became a curse and was killed. He laid his life down for us, and through him we receive salvation. Not just the Israelites, but all nations, the Gentiles, everyone receives salvation through him, right? And so when he says in Matthew 17 and 18 that, hey, I came to fulfill, you know, it's like me, I was telling my wife a few minutes ago, I was like, that's like me coming and telling you, I'm meeting you, and I'm like, hey, I love you. You know, I want you to be my wife. You're going to be my wife, and you know, I'm going to be your husband. I want to be your head. I want you to be my wife. I want you to be the mother of my children, this, that, and the other. But then one day the army deploys me and I have to go overseas for a few years. When I come back, I say, all right, I'm ready for you to be my wife now. I'm ready to go ahead and consummate this marriage and for us to be one. That's essentially what Jesus is doing right then, right there. He's not saying that right now I'm fulfilling everything. He's saying, hey, I'm the one that has been called. It's my portion to fulfill the entire law. That's what I've been called to do. It wasn't right then and there. And that's why when he came the first time, the Israelites were like, okay, yeah, you know, the Messiah, you're the one that's going to unite all of Israel back together again. You're going to bring all the 12 tribes back together, and you're going to be like King David, and you're going to kill your 10,000s, and we're going to follow you in the war, and we're going to be victorious over everybody. And when he came riding into Jerusalem on a donkey, they couldn't receive him because it didn't look like King David. It didn't look like, you know, all royal and highly and all that. He came very meek, very humble. And that's why they couldn't recognize him, and they ended up killing him. But that's because he was supposed to come. He was supposed to be killed. He was slain before the foundation of the world. This time around, this second coming is when he is going to fulfill everything. He's going to complete everything. He's going to complete everything that was written in the Torah, in the law, as he says in Matthew 17 and 18. You know, until all be fulfilled, shall the law in no wise, shall not one jot nor one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law. So that's why it's like till heaven and earth pass away, we're still supposed to be under the law. And a great example of that is the 10 virgins found in Matthew 25. Matthew 25 says, "Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them, but the wise took oil in their vessel with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go you out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you, but go you rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterwards came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for you know not. Watch therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man comes. So what I just read to you literally explains what the second coming is. It's literally showing that there's going to be 5 of us that are waiting, that are doing what he told us to do. We're keeping our lamps. We're keeping our oil. We're making sure that, you know, we are ready for him when he comes. And then there's going to be other 5 that aren't going to be ready for him. They're going to, you know, slumber. They're going to forget about the whole thing, and they're going to do as thou wilt. And when it's time to come, and he's like, depart from me, you who work lawlessness, for I never knew you. And that's what it says in Matthew 7, 21 through 23, where it's like, hey, many are going to come in my name saying, Lord, Lord, have we not done all these things in your name? And I'm going to say, I know you not. Depart from me, you who work iniquity, you who work lawlessness, you who do not keep my Father's commandments. Depart from me. For if we say that we're Christ-like and we want to be like Christ, then we have to admit that Christ kept all the laws and was sinless. But believers choose not to keep the law. So that second coming, that is when everything will be fulfilled. And that's why when he comes back, there's going to be a millennial reign where he's going to rule for 1,000 years. And then Satan's going to rise again. They're going to defeat him. And then heaven and earth pass away. And that's why, again, in red print, Jesus says that the law shall in no wise pass until heaven and earth pass away. And still, I've not seen anybody in my comments be able to prove that the law has been null and void. They say things from Paul and from Timothy and from all these other disciples, but the Messiah himself said that the law shall in no wise pass until heaven and earth pass away. And he trumps everybody. He trumps everybody, with the exception of the Father. And the Father said to do these things forever. So, I don't want to stay on here too long. I just wanted to talk about how, he's going to come, he's going to rule the nations with a rod of iron. He's going to, when he comes back the second time, and he's going to unite the 12 tribes of Israel, and they're going to gather from where the Father scattered them. And that's going to be it, man. And those that have faith, that keep his commands, and that are filled with his spirit and do the things that he requires them to do, they're going to be the ones that are called holy. And they're going to be the ones that's like, when he sees them on that day, well done, my good and faithful servant. And if anybody's teaching you otherwise, not to keep the commandments, Matthew 5:19 talks about that. Matthew 5:19 reads, whosoever therefore shall break one of these commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. So yeah, everything I just read was in red print. Jesus Christ himself said that. So yeah, keep the laws, keep the statutes, keep the commandments. All praise the Most High. See you on Judgment Day.